right. Hello, everyone. It's Rachel, and I am absolutely over the moon excited right now because I have one of my favorite people on the planet with me tonight. I have Alexandra Matthews with me doing a little live stream. And I know Alexandra is Alex, so if I say Alex, I might, FYI, but her full name is Alexandra, and Alexandra is currently in the Live Your Dharma program and is a life coach for teens and young adults. And Alexandra did such a beautiful job when we were chatting just a few minutes before we went live, telling me like how she describes who exactly she helps. And I don't want to mutilate it, so I'm going to let her kind of introduce herself, tell you guys a little bit about herself, and yeah, all the goodness. Go for it, Alex.
Hello. Yes, as Rachel was saying, I am currently offering coaching to teens and young adults. And the reason that I chose that niche, I guess, or that kind of target audience is because of social media nowadays, whether it be Instagram or Facebook or TikTok, and how influential it is and that kind of toll that it can take on teens currently, whether it be with their self-confidence or with validation, and kind of struggling to navigate through how to build their confidence and how to, I guess, use a roadmap to not rely on as much likes that they get, or, you know, kind of how to navigate through the hardships of being a teen, because it's so hard to be in middle school and it's so hard to be in high school. And honestly, it's also hard to be in college. So to give them a roadmap and tools to really boost their confidence so that they don't have to rely on, you know, what social media has given us or media has given us that, you know, presents itself as valuable, and give them the tools to be able to find that value, that courage, and that confidence within themselves.
And I am like, I was just telling Alexandra, I am so much in love with this. We had talked before about her working with teens, but we hadn't talked yet about her this direction. Of course, I guess it kind of somewhat comes with teens. As anyone who knows, I have 5 teens, well, 2 of my own, 3-step teens, and especially with my 15-year-old, I see this so much. And I think as hard as it was, I mean, aging myself right now, to grow up 30 years ago as a teen, I can't even imagine now what it's like. I mean, I literally did not have cell phones. I'll never forget the day when, I forget how old I think it was my son. It was my daughter and my son. We were lying on a bed, and I think I said something about, I'm going to take that iPad away from you. And he made a comment about, like, it was basically like he was going to lose his arm if I did that. And I was like, I remember being like, I didn't even have one of those when I was a kid. And he was like, Mommy, that is so sad. Like, how did you survive? And
how did you survive?
I don't know. I did though. I did. I survived. I survived without computers. I survived without iPhones, all of the stuff that kids have. But it is part of their world. And I think it's amazing the work you're doing and the work these kids, what's available for them when they do learn how to thrive without it.
Right. And also how to thrive with it. I mean,
such a good point, because you're right. Like, let's be honest, it's part of their life and
part of our world. Yeah.
And actually, I think that's really interesting, Alex, because my daughter was telling me about a friend she has that she's not allowed to, she's 15, like my daughter, she's not allowed to have any of it. And I think there's an element where I understand from the parents' view, but I also think it's not the reality that we live in right now.
Right.
And what's going to happen when they're 15, when she goes in a couple of years of college, she's going to have it all. Mm-hmm. She's not going to know how to navigate. Like, I mean, it's going to be like a flood.
Overload.
Anyway, yeah. So actually, I love that you just said that, because I think you're right. It's more about how to navigate with it and live with it, but in a positive way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And also how to use it, you know. I always knew that I wanted to work for myself, but I always ended up working for other people. And if I had the tools that I had now, I would probably have chosen to be an entrepreneur a lot sooner, you know? So also how to make it work for you in not only your personal life, but if you do decide to go out in business. And I also think that's another thing that teens are not really aware of right now, that employers do go and look, like everything.
Yes.
Everything is documented now. So it's also to bring that awareness to them, but also teaching them the skills, kind of like we learn in our courses and as coaches, but to bring that awareness to all aspects of our life, not just social media, but in every aspect. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. So actually, I think this is like a cool segue. So I wanted to like share, Alice has had some pretty big changes in her life pretty recently. And anyone who reads my posts all the time already probably knows about you, Alex. Definitely talk about you. But she, like she mentioned, she was in corporate America and recently left her 9-to-5 to pursue her passions. And I think it would be really, FYI, people who are listening, I know Alex looks super young because I thought she was like 20, and they're probably like, what do you mean? Like, I would have gone into entrepreneurship. You're like 20 years old. Alex is not 20 years old. She just is got beautiful. She's very beautiful and looks very young. Not that she's old. She's not old like me, but you know. Anyways, let's just clear that up real quick because I'm sure someone right now is watching and is like, the girl's like 20 years old. What's she talking about? Anyways, so Alex recently left her corporate 9-to-5 job, a job that she was really amazing at, and to really follow her heart and to follow this entrepreneurship journey. And so, Alex, what helped you pull the trigger to do that?
So I've been with Rachel, coaching with Rachel for probably 2 years. Oh gosh, yeah, I think 2 years now.
Close to it, yeah.
Yeah. And when I first came to her, I was like, I hate my job. I hate everything about it. I hate my boss. I hate everything. I hate it. And I just want to leave. And probably the most valuable thing that she did was she encouraged, didn't force, but she encouraged me to find contentment within my job before I left. Because if you are in a situation and you cannot find contentment and you just decide to leave that situation, that same issue is going to come up repeatedly for you. It's just going to keep coming up until you actually go to the root and deal with that issue, or whatever, you're struggling with. And perfect example is I did decide to leave my corporate job, and I think the final trigger point was when I was able to look back and say, oh, wow, I love all of these aspects of this job, and all of these aspects make me good at this job, as well as all of these aspects will help me in my entrepreneurship. So it's ironic, and kind of funny. But once I found happiness within my job, I was ready to let it go. And that was, and I guess the other trigger point was, you only get one life. And I can't imagine doing anything other than exactly what I want and exactly what I love. And I would hate for, just to be a little bit vulnerable, I have some issues with security and money that stem from, previous learned behavior. And
from being a human on planet Earth.
And being a human. And that was the main reason that held me back from jumping, because I was so scared that I would not be provided for. But when you look back at your history and you look back and say, oh, well, what are the facts? I've been without a job before. I made it work, and you do what you need to. So it was the empowerment and the confidence that I gained through Rachel's program, as well as recognizing that, life is short and you get it once. I don't think we think about that a lot because we get in the hustle and bustle, and then we get in the to-do lists, and then we get into like make dinner
day
to day. Yeah. And you don't stop and think about that, what you really want. So that was the trigger. But to go back to the other point, I recently went to India for a month, and I thought, I was going to find and I did. I found all this wonderful happiness, all of this, amazing experience. But when I first got there, I realized, oh, wow, your stuff really does follow you no matter where you go. Like, it was still there. I magically thought that once I landed in India, it would all
be all gone.
It did not.
I love that you shared that. And I love that you shared that, you had to do that work, right, first, of really being content with you and where you were at. And the irony is Alice came and she was like not in a great place with her job, and through the work, she built her confidence. She got to a place where she loved, I'll say loved, but you were enjoying your job. And then it was from there that it was so, not say easy, because I don't want to say easy, but like it was ready, like you said, for it to go. Whereas instead of leaving 2 years ago when you were in that negative place, and then probably just taking another corporate job, taking all of that with you were able to really step into what I say your Dharma. Like, Alex, she's really natural. She's really fucking good people. And that's just what happens, right? I think when we actually embody the work and do the work ourselves first, which is amazing. What would you say for you, Alex, throughout, so the last couple of months in the certification, were some of the shifts you've had?
Some of the shifts that I've had, just personally, is probably my favorite module is the 4 parts of listening. Even if you don't know, it's so funny because I equate this so much to yoga, and I know that you do too. But when I went through yoga teacher training, I wasn't planning on being a teacher. I just wanted to go in because I wanted to know more about my personal practice, right? And then I ended up going in and I was like, oh, I love this. And this is amazing. And now I'm about to start teaching, it went up to 8 classes a week. So now I'm going to start teaching 8 classes a week, which I'm excited about. But it's the same. It was the same thing. I'd been coaching with Rachel for a year, maybe a year and a half. And I said, if anything, even if I don't do this, I want this for myself. And that module of 4 parts of listening has changed my entire world. That one module, because it has changed how I approach every single relationship, because I'm very quick to draw, kind of, I guess you would say, when the response is there, or when you're in a conversation. And that taught me how to take a breath and really find out, okay, what is their intention? What are they really trying to say? Let me clarify before I jump to conclusions and make this about me. It has changed every single relationship that I have. It is, so I guess my point is, even if you're on the fence about thinking about doing this, it is worth the investment 100% just for you. Just for you and your journey.
Oh, I love that. And yeah, that listening tool, I guess we can call it, is so powerful. I would 100% agree. When I first started learning about that, I was like, whoa, wait a minute. Yeah. I just had never thought about it that way. I probably had understood it on some level like that, but it never had been broken down in that way. And it did. It has definitely also helped. It's helped my relationship with my children. And it's going to make you an amazing mom. It's going to, it helps not always. Sometimes I still lose it, of course, with my husband. But it's like a reminder after I lose it, like, oh, wait, where was I not? What part? Like, was I not listening? Or where was I? Anyways, at it all day, getting into
Right.
my stuff and projecting and all that stuff. But,
Right, but it actually helped me more in my job than anything. Yeah, it was in my corporate, because you know that we were at that point when I was,
it was the beginning. It's one of the beginning modules, and you were still in your 9 to 5 at that point.
And so communicating with my boss and making sure that I was being clear and also clarifying his intentions was on point. It was kismet.
I love it. And I'm going to share with you guys, and I don't know, hopefully this is okay, Alex, but like, Alex's employer loved her so much. And when they found out what she was doing, they literally wanted to hire her to come back as their coach, basically. So yeah. So the power of even just using those first couple tools on people can be pretty powerful. Definitely. And Alex, what would you say, like, if someone right now is listening and they're like you, like they're terrified of the investment, they're terrified of going all in, they're afraid that either they won't be able to do this, because I know that was a little bit of a fear you've had along with several of the other ladies that were in the group, or they won't be any good at it, or maybe they're already a coach, but they're already thinking they're not that good at it, which is a thought I had in the beginning. What would be your advice to them?
Something that I did, and it may resonate with someone else, something that I did, and I think, Rachel, you told me to do this, but you said, take a step back and see, are you actually coaching your family and friends? You might not even realize it, because I didn't. But I realized that I think in every relationship that I had, I was on some level coaching them. And if that's something that comes naturally to you, then, and even if it's not, this work is so valuable for you and your relationships. I would not, if I guess, how can I equate it to like medical health, because everyone is always so adamant about their health, but I'm not sure that everyone thinks about their mental health in that way. And so that was the biggest shift for me. I thought, okay, well, if something needed attention with my physical body health, I would put the investment in. I would 100% put the investment in. And this is just as important because it affects my everyday life. It's probably more important because it affects your everyday life with all of your relationships. And it helps you, not only if you're someone like me who, needs to gain more confidence and remind themselves that they are enough, because I know that's what a lot of people struggle with, including myself. But having those tools and in your toolbox and knowing how to go back to them on your own, knowing that you have your own back, knowing all of these tools, and I call them secret weapons because I think that sounds cooler.
I love that.
And so
I'm so stealing that, Alex. Secret weapons.
You can go back and pull them out, and then you're like, oh, right. Oh, okay, that's right. And you have this wave of breath over you. And I can't even equate it to anything other than like when you step on the beach for the first time and you're on vacation. That's like the equivalent. When you find that tool and like it actually comes into play and it works, and you are able to do that for yourself and empower yourself through that. It's like when you go on vacation and it's the first time you walk out on the beach and you see the ocean and you just smell in everything and you're like, okay, wow. And that's the feeling or equating. So if you're on the fence, I can't even imagine why you wouldn't want to do something like that for yourself. It's just like when you go and have a pamper day, right? It's like when you go to the chiropractor or you get a facial or you do something for your wellness. You're investing in yourself. And that should give you a huge amount of pride and love and encouragement, because like Rachel says to me all the time, you have to live with yourself every single day. Nobody else does.
Everyone else could technically leave if they want to.
Yeah, but you're kind of stuck with yourself.
Yeah.
So yeah, I hope I didn't ramble too much, but
no, it's perfect. And oh my God, your metaphor was so perfect right now, because I'm actually in Hilton Head Island right now with my daughter. And yesterday when I stepped on the beach, and I was like, Julia was like, is this everything you've been waiting for? I was like, yes, this is all I need is 5 seconds right here with my feet in the sand, and I will be fixed for a day. No, I'm just kidding. I will be good for a while, actually. Today was a little bit chilly, and I was like, just like 2 towels wrapped around her. I'm like, nope, we're staying out here.
We're staying.
I 100% agree though, because I remember when I first started learning some of these tools, it was like, wait, and I love, this goes back to your niche. I was like, why didn't someone teach me this when I was in high school? And my life would have been so much easier. Like a lot of the drama would not have had to exist.
Yeah.
I mean, oh my God. It's like, and it blows me away that there isn't a class. Like there's classes for now. I mean, thank goodness there's at least classes for like finance, like how to like balance a checkbook and stuff. I mean, I didn't even have that, but it's like, and I love how you said, it's like, if you hurt yourself, for example, you would go to the doctor, you'd pay the money, you'd get the cast, you'd get it fixed. But why do we not do it for our well-being, our mental health, when it actually, I mean, it may not be like a broken limb, but like it can impact your physical body in very much, not even just your mind, but it can literally create pain in your body.
Yeah.
I hear it all the time from people. Anyways, I could ramble on it forever.
Yes.
So Alex, if someone is listening right now and they're like, oh my God, she's the cutest, sweetest, like I believe. And they have a teen or a young adult that they think could use your support and your help. What would be the best way for them to get in touch with you? Where should they find you?
Probably through email, or I'm also on Instagram.
I was going to say, Alex has a great Instagram page, so that's where I was going to send them, but just in case I wasn't sure.
Instagram. Yeah, Instagram would be good. Lots of vulnerable stories on there for you.
She's great. Awesome.
My handle is, I think, Sweet Little Yogi 22. And then my email is Alexandra Matthews, 2 T's, number 22 @gmail.com.
And I will make sure to put that down in the comments. So if anybody is watching, but definitely go follow Alex on Instagram. I'll include that too, because she is great. She's real. She's vulnerable. She puts it all out there, and I love it. I think it's what really sets apart, I don't know, I'll say the good humans, but the authentic humans.
Authentic humans, yeah.
Yes, we won't say good and bad, because I really do believe all humans are good, and just unfortunate circumstances happen that change that sometimes. Alex, thank you so much for taking some time out of your busy day and sharing your experience, what it's been like inside the program for you so far. And if anyone has any questions, they can always reach out. Let me know. I will answer any of your questions. Reach out to Alex if you want her opinions without me live.
I'm happy to talk to you. If you are on the fence about the program, I'm more than happy to talk to you.
Yeah. All right, friends. Everyone have a wonderful, it's Monday, right? Yes. A wonderful Monday. I've lost track of time. No idea what day it is. Have a wonderful Monday, and I'll see you all soon.